Then what are the things that you can control? A lot of times people lose their confidence thinking about things that they can't control. The what ifs, and worrying about the what ifs as opposed to what can you control. So most goalies I would have in the NHL, they would always have maybe 3 to 5 things that they felt they would be at their best. So I'll give you an example. A guy's coming down the wing. When a guy comes down the wing, step number 1, you're going to find the middle of your net. Step number 2, you're going to find your depth. Step number 3, you're going to track down on the puck, try to give up no rebound. But if you give up a rebound, you're going back to your post, set up, start over again. Some goalies, it might be stick on puck. When I'm stick on puck, my hands are square to the puck, my shoulders are square to the puck, my stick will take me to the depth that I require to make the save. That's an easy one that you can control. Stick on puck. Very simple, right? Very, very basic, but very effective.
Yeah.
Toes and heels. That might be a word in your mind, that toes and heels. When the play is not developed yet, toes inside the crease. When the play develops and there's a shot situation or a chance, I'm going to be heels at the top of the crease. Very simple for the goalie to understand.
Yeah.
They control it, and it's not circumstantial. So I always try to start off with that kind of a base. What do you feel good at? Let's do that to make sure you feel good and feel ready. What do you control? That doesn't matter what drill we do, doesn't matter what the situation of the game is, that you can control. And why are we doing them? To ultimately find flow. And I don't know if your viewers or listeners have speak about flow state, but when you play your best game, what are you usually thinking about, Simon?
Normally it goes just like automatically, to be honest.
Exactly. You're just playing.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about anything. You're just playing. Yeah. That's called the flow state. And the flow state is an optimal state of where time and pressure and situations all melt away and all you're focused on stopping the puck. And so how do we get into that flow state is the key. And so I don't want to give away all my secrets, but that's the key, is how can we get into that flow state? Not by accident. Sometimes people say, well, I get into flow state when I make the first couple saves and then I just start rolling. No. And then I go, well, what happens if the first shot of the game hits a leg and goes in? Are you just going to fall apart? What happens if the first shot of the game is a backdoor tap in and you had no chance? Are you just going to fall apart? It's about the process. Did you do the process to give yourself the ultimate chance to stop the puck? And just focus on the process will take you into that flow state, and then you'll give yourself the best chance. So in order to keep that confidence, it's just constantly going back to what are the things you can control to give yourself the optimal opportunity to stop the puck. And then your focus is on that is so high that you go into a flow state.
Makes sense, yeah, for sure. But there's also this mental part again, right? If there's a backdoor tap in or a deflected puck, you can't do anything about it to stay in the game and not mentally break down.
100%, but you can't control that.
Yeah.
And you can't control anything about that situation. So forget about it. Whether it was a good goal, a backdoor tap in, whether it was a bad goal, like a guy just wrist shot down the ice and you let it in 5-hole by lifting your stick, doesn't matter. That is just a end result, and you can't control that. What you can control is, as soon as that play is over, going back to your process. Did I have my stick on the ice? Was I square to the puck? Did I track down? Was I challenging enough? Toes and heels. Was I going back to the post, or did I go outside the post and now I'm scrambling? What are your keys And all you can, that's the way I teach the goalies to let the puck, let it go, let the situation go. Once the situation happens, you can never ever get it back again. So don't worry about it, move on. So how do we move on? Get back on focusing on what you can control. And so that's the way that I would teach goalies to let it go and to move on, move forward. And the way that I do that is unique. And, sometimes people hear me talk about it a little bit, but I don't show goalies goals against very often.
Mm-hmm.
You and your listeners can do the experiment. But take any goalie in the world, in any league, doesn't matter, and take 20 goals in a row. I usually used to do a month. And take a month's worth of goals against, or 20 goals in a row, and mark down how many of them were identical.
Mm-hmm.
And you will find that none of them were.